For those who are unfamiliar, this is Andrew Tate on the left. He made a massive impact on the internet, I don't know, like last year or something like that. Everybody knew of this guy, right? My first introduction to the guy was a video where he said, rich people don't have a favorite food.
If you ever see a man who's talking about food, oh, I had this amazing steak at this one restaurant. This steak is so amazing. He's broke. He's a brokey. Because if the steak was so amazing, he'd eat every day. And he'd eat every day to the point where he doesn't want to talk about it anymore. But he doesn't do that because he can't afford it. You understand? So whenever you see anyone talking about bragging about the meal they cooked or this ingredient they got or that steak they had, just do, because people do that to me all the time. And I'm just sitting there going, you're poor. Interesting. Oh, you're broke. Yes, okay. Oh, you went on your birthday and had that steak. Oh, wow. Once a year. Broke talk. Brokies. Real G's. Every day. Minor. Ain't a thing.
Now, I'm not rich, but I live in New York City. There was a time in my life where I struggled terribly. I'm not struggling at this immediate moment, okay? I have favorite foods. His argument is rich people could eat at a favorite restaurant anytime they want, so they would get sick of the food, so they don't have a favorite food. Rich people don't have favorite foods. Favorite food is for a brokey. That's what he calls broke people, brokies. I want to cringe so badly just describing it. It is so goddamn stupid. I cannot stand it. So, that was my introduction to Andrew Tate. So let's watch some of this stuff. See what he has to say for himself. It will make you cringe. Warning. Yes, he calls people brokies. That, right there, the term brokey is probably the most cringy term I have ever heard from the guy. And that's really saying something, in my opinion. It's bad. It's real bad, dude. And apparently the guy goes on these shows with people that are even dumber than him. I don't know how he finds these fucking people. He finds people that are even stupider than he is and debates them. It is so ridiculous. You don't even know. So, I'll tell you what. Let's watch. Let's listen to what he has to say. This YouTube channel is called Just Pearly Things. Just Pearly Things. They have almost 1 million subbies. No idea who this is. Never heard of this channel before, but yeah, we're gonna give it a watch. So let's jump in. I'm not sure where I should jump in exactly. I'm thinking maybe like 5 minutes in or so. He's obsessed with being an alpha male when in reality he's just he's just dumb as straight up. And you can see his insecurities clear as day. So let's listen.
Why don't we go around and have everyone on the panel introduce yourself. Say your name, your age, your relationship status, where are you from, and just a little bit about you. Why don't we start here?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany Renner. I'm 30 years old. I'm single as a Pringle. I have a...
Single as a Pringle. Are Pringles particularly renowned for being single?
1.5-year-old son, and I'm here to learn something new today.
I'll help you with that. That's why they brought me.
Damn.
Don't encourage him by laughing at his stupid fucking jokes.
Well, sir, they brought me here to look for trouble. It's to now with the troublemaker. You thought she couldn't do it, but she did it. Here she is. I am freshly 30. I am single, not ready to mingle yet. And something interesting about me, well, I'm a smart woman. I'm here to see if...
I can tell you up front, nobody on this show is smart. Nobody. Not one person. Andrew Tate or any of the people that he's talking to, they're all dumb as dog shit. Every person on this couch and behind it.
Mr. Tate can learn something from me.
Oh.
Sagittarius, relax, please. Be nice. Come on, I wasn't rude.
Andrew Tate, 36 years old. I cannot disclose personal information because, of course, my enemies are after me. But, yeah, I'm here to educate, as I always am. Perhaps somebody will say something remotely insightful, but at least I get a Clementine if not, so I'm chilling with my orange.
And it's your girl, Esther, the Nigerian queen. I'm here to entertain, to disagree with somebody in here.
Oh... Auntie Shield.
So he's famous for being like a misogynist. He's famously very, very misogynistic. And you think to yourself, he's in a debate now, right? So the people he's about to debate, they're going to debate him on his misogyny, right? Don't be so sure. I only watched a minute or two of this. I'm not really sure what they're going to debate him on, but every one of these people is dumber than he is, if you can believe it.
And in terms of my relationship status, I am single, doing interviews. I'm not just going for anybody. But yeah, that's how it is.
She's interviewing people to see if they are right for her. Isn't that just called a date? Isn't that just dating somebody? Okay. There is like a whole like subset of culture that I am just not privy to, like dating culture that I'm just unaware of completely.
Auntie Jenny here, 54. I'm here to cut out the bullshit. Simple.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Thank you guys.
I bet you do.
Yeah, you have to cut the bullshit. That's the problem with the world today. It's too much bullshit.
And they're not direct. If they've got something to say to you, just say it.
Why are you being mean already?
I don't really care. If you've got something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. Just say it.
So
If
basically,
I've got
I'll
something
say
to
it.
I already got my
just say it.
teammate.
Just say it.
100%.
Hey, Auntie, I
Yeah.
beg, give the girl a chance to speak now and relax.
What girl?
Hey,
What have I said?
This one.
What have I said?
I'm addressing the elephant in the room, innit?
Listen, I don't believe in no elephants in the room.
Dude, I don't even know what they're arguing over right now. I feel like they're really mad at each other, but I don't know why.
If there's something to say, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. If you've got something to say to me, I am here. Talk to my face. There should be no elephant in the room because this ain't no zoo. You understand? So if you've got something to say,
I don't understand. Okay, did somebody beat around the bush with this woman recently? Did I miss something? Did somebody, like, say something behind her back while they were sitting on this couch, or what?
just say it. We're all big, no, I'm just saying. We're just all big people here. So if I want
Okay.
to say something to you, I'm going to say something to you straight like I normally do.
Yes.
If I've got something to say to Esther, I'm going to tell Esther. Whether she likes it or not, I don't really care. Andrew Tate, my son's older than him, so I don't give a damn who he is. I'm going to just say what I've got to say. So whoever don't like it, that's tough. Don't come. You
You
should
missed
be
out
here.
Brittany. I feel picked up.
Okay, I feel like what's happening right now is she's virtue signaling. This is actually virtue signaling. She's picking a fight with literally nobody over literally nothing because she wants to show people how virtuous she is in this one area of life. Awesome.
On.
I told you guys, everybody on this show is dumb as dog shit. Even stupider than Tate. Seriously.
Okay, so
And Brittany too, right? Even Pearl too. Feel better now.
yeah, Auntie gave me Auntie was yelling at me in wife school the other day, so she doesn't give a shit. Okay, so my first question is, what is the number one problem facing men today, and what is the number one problem facing women today?
I can say something.
Come on,
'Cause
ladies.
everybody's
Let
gonna
her
say-
educate
you know,
me.
the number one
Sit here and
problem.
fucking answer all the questions. Come on, tell
The
me.
number one problem with men is that they don't tell women the truth, and the number one problem with women is that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
Okay, that would be simple. If it were not broad as it gets, can you narrow that down a little bit? That's a sentence that could literally apply to anybody about anything.
That's a good paradigm to start from because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest. And then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did
Exactly.
what? It's like,
Okay, the problem is not the honesty in that case. The problem is that you're a shithead that did something like really, really wrong. Are you kidding me? He's like, just being honest. Yeah, I cheated on you. I was just being honest. I told you guys, this is just the beginning.
well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lie.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree with that one. I don't think it's the biggest problem, but it certainly is a problem in relationships today. That is a problem. The biggest problem with men today is that I think the world is becoming hyper competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course.
Okay, if you don't, it's all women's fault. That sounded like a cheeky little joke. It's not. It's not, okay? This guy is terrible in every way. He is king incel. If this is your first introduction to the guy, he is all about the incel culture or about helping incels or whatever. If you don't know how he got famous in the first place, he was a pretty good kickboxer at one point. He had a lot of wins and not very many losses. So, yeah, decent kickboxer, I guess. And he also, apparently his dad was like a chess grandmaster or something. His dad was really, really good at chess. Eventually, he went on to become King Scumbag when he effectively created what I believe to be like a network for OnlyFans. Since I originally filmed this, new information has come to light. He was just arrested for trafficking, like the other day. Let me explain how Andrew Tate got his start and made money. Come to find out, what he was doing was getting a girlfriend and then pressuring them into joining OnlyFans, becoming cam girls, basically, and then taking their money. And then he would get a new girlfriend. He would put them in front of the camera, and he would take their money too. He had like 8 different girls doing this or something like that. He lives in Romania. So back in, I think, April 2022, the Romanian police raid his house and find girls in his basement, imprisoned there, being coerced against their will to do this stuff. They charged him with and human trafficking and a bunch of stuff. Rightfully so. That's what he was doing. The way Andrew Tate framed it is he ran an OnlyFans network. That is not accurate. That is his most charitable interpretation of the situation. He is a human trafficker. Now, as it turns out, the Romanian police were looking for him. He got in a Twitter spat with Greta Thunberg, and in that Twitter spat, he posted a video where he was eating pizza from a box that basically identified his location in Romania. The Romanian police showed up and arrested him, and it was all over from there. He is a human trafficker. He is a pimp. The bite model applies to pimps and human traffickers just as easily as it does cult leaders. It was intended for both originally. He is the lowest of the low. It does not get more disgusting than this guy right here. That's how he really got all of his money, was by creating a network for OnlyFans, where he was basically these girls' pimp, for lack of a better term. Dead serious. FYI, pimps and cult leaders overlap a lot. They are human trafficking and cults operate basically the same way. You should look at them the same way. He manipulated women psychologically and emotionally the exact same way that cult leaders do. The same way. Same blueprint. You should look at him as a cult leader effectively because of how he ran things and because of the things that he did. So anyways, that's how he got rich, really, was by becoming a pimp, effectively. An online OnlyFans pimp.
But it is, because women choose the winners, right? Women choose who the high-stakes males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't. They give a shit about themselves.
This is called stereotyping, and, you know, you could say this about any demographic, and it would be wrong. Like, you can even look at statistics and say, well, statistically speaking, I suppose women tend to make decisions that, like, look out for their own interests more than they look out for, like, men's interests or whatever. Isn't that true of everybody? Isn't everybody looking out for their own interests over others to some degree unless they're close to that person? He's looking at statistics and applying them to every individual that he meets. Is he even looking at statistics? I don't know that he is. I mean, this could be completely made up for all I know. One thing I've learned from Andrew Tate is that he doesn't tend to buy statistics. He doesn't tend to believe anything. He doesn't believe scientific studies at all, ever.
A woman, if you ask her what she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat. And
okay, what women is he talking to? I've never met a woman in my life that has ever listed those as her criteria.
And it's funny and good looking and strong. I don't want much. Like, they name all this shit that most dudes are never going to have. And it's becoming harder and harder. And you end up with people, top G's, who own everything on the planet they could ever possibly wish for.
Oh, yeah. He also owns a thing called Top G. It's basically a multi-level marketing scheme or a pyramid scheme. It's basically, he calls people that are members of it Top G's. You pay $50 a month, I believe, and he will give you training courses on how to lose all of your money in crypto. Or he'll give you training courses on how to do this thing or that thing or whatever else. And if nothing else, you can earn your money back by posting videos of him all over social media. He will pay you to do that. I mean, you have to post a whole bunch of it to make your money back, but people want to make their money back, so they do it anyways. It's just a giant-ass pyramid scheme that benefits nobody but him, pretty much. And if you're a member of it, you're a top G. He calls his people top Gs.
and then you got other guys who have nothing, and there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any, and then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
What about the women?
Should I say the problem
I
with
would
women is?
say-
I'll tell you.
Well, everybody's got a chance to talk.
I'm gonna shut up and have my clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
You want to learn from me?
Well, I wanna-
He has
well, I-
nothing to teach anybody. Trust me. I told you guys, didn't I? Everybody on this couch is dumber than he is.
I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes for both. It's not just one or the other. I feel like it's self-accountability.
Women are not accountable for themselves. I agree with you there.
Why just women though? What
It's
about
both.
men?
It's
yeah.
both.
Okay, here's another thing he likes to say. He says that women are under the stewardship and ownership of a man, like a dog.
I believe that as a man, I should pay for the first date. I believe I should open the car door. I believe I should protect for her, provide for her. I believe if she's my woman, she should be able to come to me with her problems and I should fix them. That makes me a sexist and a horrible person. Fine.
It doesn't.
You agree with the baseline. Everyone agrees with the foundations of what I say. But when I build on top of it, they try and pretend it's sexist. By extension, if I have responsibility over her, then I must have a degree of authority. For the same reason, if I have responsibility over, and everyone's going to lose their mind, it's an example, it's only an analogy. If I have responsibility over a child, I have to have some authority. You cannot be responsible for something that doesn't listen to you. You can't be responsible for a dog if it doesn't obey you, or a child if it doesn't obey you, or a woman doesn't obey
down
you.
the super sexist path.
Cool. Let's take a beautiful sports car. It doesn't matter. A house,
Yeah,
land,
that didn't help.
whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever I'm responsible
an
for,
object.
I have to have a degree of authority over.
If you have a woman, then you have responsibility to take care of her and feed her like you would a dog, and make sure that she doesn't get herself into stupid trouble or something like that. Just insane, dude. Everything about this guy's insane.
It is
Definitely both.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable. But society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick,
There it
you think
is. He said brokey.
you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations.
Okay, here's the thing. He is applying these things in two different situations. So he says if you're a man, then society will slap you down and you won't have an opportunity to blah, 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 blah. But if you're a woman, society treats you really well. No, that's not necessarily the case. It's all about the way people look. It's all about attractive level. He's talking about attractive privilege in the case of women, but he's ignoring it completely in the case of men. Attractive men have doors opened for them all the time, just like attractive women do. He is trying to appeal to this group of people that are ostensibly not attractive. I think he's trying to appeal to incels. He's appealing to incel grievances. People that, for one reason or another, are incapable of finding a date or finding a girlfriend or sleeping with somebody or whatever else. Involuntarily celibate. He's appealing to them with their own grievances. Incels are naturally probably going to be below average attractiveness level, and he's pointing it out as though every woman is like a 10 on the attractive level. He is ignoring attractive privilege for men and hyper-focusing on attractive privilege for women.
If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson. That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, et cetera, is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is...
How can he possibly say something like that? Most women blame external occurrences or external factors for their failures? Does he have a study to prove this? Of course he doesn't. Like, he's just saying it with confidence so people believe that it's true.
Is this because of this? No, you women don't look in the mirror and change a fucking thing. Ever.
Because don't forget what you're forgetting right nowadays. They can't change it because it's all about body positivity.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Well, they weren't nodding along with him, but they do have somebody that's agreeing. Body positivity. Okay, there's a group called, or there's an organization or a belief system or whatever called Health at Every Size that's deeply destructive to society, in my opinion. They believe that being overweight is a good thing or preferable or at least not a bad thing. Like very overweight. I'm talking like morbidly obese, like 800 pounds is not a bad thing. And if you say that it's a bad thing, then you're shaming people and blah, blah, blah. being very, very, very overweight like that is a bad thing. It is. Now, these people are latching on to this one weird little group over here that's saying these things. And making it out as though, like, everybody believes it. Every woman believes this. And this is the problem with women today. They believe that they can do whatever they want and blame everybody else for their problem. What? Where did you get any of this? Where did any of this come from? This makes no sense at all. Holy shit, dude. This is insane.
They can look sexy at size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
Are you guys trying to get me canceled?
See, I'm not gonna. I don't agree with what you just said because
Okay, Lizzo is I didn't mean to hit spacebar, but since I did, I'll tell you what was on my mind. Lizzo is a singer, right? And she's overweight, and I don't think Lizzo denies that. I don't think Lizzo is going around saying, I'm actually, 100 pounds, and it's just your eyes that you need to get checked. I don't think anybody is, like, making a big deal of this or blaming problems on this or anything. This is just what it is. Like, what is going through these people's heads? This is nuts, dude. I'm obese, and I get it's a bad thing, but we shouldn't be shaming people for it. I'm loath to use a Christian term for it, but we all have crosses to bear, and for some of us, that cross is made of food. Absolutely agree. 100% agree with you. Nobody should be shamed for this. They should be left alone and let to do their own thing. Oh, and or given help if they need it to some degree, if they're dealing with this thing or that thing or whatever else. 100% agree with you. But what you're saying and what they're saying are two different things. They're saying everybody in society is blaming their weight or is blaming, oh shit, I dropped something, is blaming everything on their weight. Like their weight is the source of all of their problems, and their weight isn't actually a problem at all anyways. It's actually really society that blah, 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 blah. That's how they're framing it. And it's just nonsense. This makes no sense at all. In all seriousness, I have dealt with addiction in my life. Like heroin addiction, So I absolutely understand what it's like to have a serious addiction like that. And I hold nothing against anybody for it. The fact that I am skinny is 100% luck and genetics. I just don't really care about food that much. It's never been like a focus in my life. It's never been something that I've used to, deal with stress or pain or sadness or anything like that. And, I've leaned on other, arguably more destructive things to deal with pain and sadness and stuff like that. I don't understand what it's like to struggle with food that way, but I absolutely understand what it's like to struggle with addiction. It's not easy. I know it's not easy, but just keep on going. And it is most definitely downplayed and disrespected by the rest of society. Not viewed as something as serious as like other addictions and stuff. So I'm absolutely with you on that one. Anyway, yeah, let's keep listening to these fools.
90% of cosmetic surgery is by women. Women are trying to change as much as possible. Men don't want to change.
Okay, men don't want to change. What is she talking about? How does she have any evidence of that? First of all. Second, don't trust a single statistic they cite. Not one. Ever. They don't... The people on this set here intentionally, reject scientific thought. And another thing about women, struggling to change or whatever. Did you ever consider the fact that maybe the idea that 90% of women or 90% of cosmetic surgery come from women? Did you ever consider the fact that maybe that's a sign that women feel pressure to change? Like more pressure than most people? Do you ever consider the fact that maybe things are even worse for women if this is the thing that they're doing, if this is the solution they go to? Build up with what you have and carry it with pride and confidence. That'd be my advice. Don't go to Andrew Tate looking for somebody to air your grievances for you. It's honestly embarrassing and sad. Lord Falconis, food is the worst thing you can be addicted to, and I will die on that hill. Hopefully not literally. Yeah, I think you're probably right. It is pretty bad because it's something that you must continue taking, and there's nothing that you can do about it. You have to continue eating whether you want to or not, which means you have to be faced with that addiction day in and day out, whether you like it or not. With heroin, you can separate yourself from it. You can walk away from all of your friends that, that get you into it or that have it around or whatever. And you can not be around heroin anymore ever again if you try hard enough. But food, you don't have that option. So I can totally see that. For that reason, I can see why somebody would say it's the worst addiction to have. And I think I agree. Getting off of heroin is a fucking nightmare, though. It's really, really bad. It will fuck you up hard, man. So, yeah, I can see that. I can see what you're saying there. Anyways, yeah. All right, let's keep listening.
They're not accountable for themselves. They think that because they're a man, you're going to be attracted to them. No, like you can't be fat. You stay at home. You're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not going to want to fuck you.
Yeah, but then she won't. This is the point. And then she won't, and society will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with a girl for a year or so, but in general, they're going to end up lonely. In general, they're going to struggle to find partners. I agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing. Women are happy to change their appearance and change how they look, but they're not happy to change how they act. Most of them, they're not.
Okay, what gives him this idea? This woman cited a statistic a minute ago. Something like 90% of cosmetic surgeries are done by women or something like that. I don't even know. And I don't know what statistic she cited, and I don't even know if it's true. Like, that could be completely made up. Don't trust a word out of these people's mouths, FYI. And she used that as the basis of saying men don't want to change. Now, again, I don't know if that's even true, but assuming that it is, didn't you ever consider the idea that maybe the pressure on women to change is way, way, way higher than the pressure on men? That isn't the moral that you drew from that story? It blows me away that these people seem to be drawing the wrong conclusions from everything. These people are just nuts, dude.
Happy to change them. No, they're not.
The women are changing what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And no, they do it. The women are doing that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman change her stinking attitude than put on all that makeup and hair and everything. That's what the men want. But the women will go out there like, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. If you look at a man and the man said, yeah, he's fat. The man will if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make say, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair, and stay the big old fat person that she is and say.
A BBL, FYI, is a Brazilian butt lift. It's an incredibly dangerous procedure that, for some reason, women continue to get because, once again, they feel the societal pressure to continue to make themselves more attractive. Seems to be a far stronger societal pressure than men experience. That's just like my preliminary look at it. But yeah, that's what she's talking about. Brazilian butt lift here.
Oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. And the women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery.
Dude, body positivity, this body positivity thing, I'm all for body positivity, 100%. There is a line where it goes entirely too far. The group that takes it entirely too far is a weird fringe little group that basically nobody is even paying attention to. But they're applying that to the entire movement, or not just the whole movement. They're applying that to everybody, every single person. Like, anytime something goes wrong in somebody's life, they assume that they're chalking it up to, well, people just aren't body positive enough. Like, this is all just complete nonsense beginning to end. This drives me nuts, dude. And Tate's over here laughing. I can't stand it, dude. What's this girl on the right thinking, you guys think? She's sitting over here staring at Tate. Do you think she's, like, frustrated at this whole thing? I don't know.
For the men. They're getting it for themselves. You can't turn around. What man wants a woman that's going to turn around, go and have an operation, and can't sit on a plane because her ass has been injected or been interfered with? She got to lie there.
Okay, so, yeah, she's talking about the Brazilian butt lift thing. Again, it's so dangerous. Like, a crazy high number of people die from the Brazilian butt lift, procedure because apparently from my understanding, I think they're injecting fat into it or they're removing fat from it or something. And there are so many, like, blood vessels running through that area that if they mess it up just once, they can accidentally inject a bunch of fat or a bunch of, like, I don't know, silicone or something into a blood vessel by mistake, and it'll hit your heart and it'll kill you. I think that's why it's so dangerous. I don't know why anybody would go about doing that, but it should just go to show you that people are willing to go to ridiculous lengths to make themselves more attractive to people, to other people. And they're sitting here pretending that, these people are failing because they don't care. This is just mind-blowingly stupid.
They're on her stomach. You think the men want that? Or wake up in the morning before you got to hit the house. She's got to put on. I'm sure I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman. Ooh. And then when they wake up in the morning, they think, who the hell is she?
The scars,
by the time you take
catfish.
everything off, women need to change their attitudes before they change their makeup. I'm sure that even more than that, change your attitude. Because women have got there and they want to change this, they want to change.
They're talking about all women right now. They think all women need to change their attitudes because it's women's fault that all the suffering in the world is going on. Everybody is failing at everything. It's just like ridiculous. How are these people this stupid? Seriously. By the by, you could probably see me in the background trying to like catch a chancey here. I don't know if you knew this, but in this game, there are items, like Pokemon hold items. There's an item called a lucky egg, and some Chanseys hold this lucky egg. There's like a 4% chance of finding a Chansey in this grass, and there's a 5% chance that the Chansey will hold a lucky egg, and there's a 4% chance of throwing a Pokeball to catch that Chansey. So it's like 1 in 1,000 that I will find one, but using save states, I think I can do it a lot faster. It usually takes me about 7 Chanseys. I've gone through one so far, so if you're wondering what's happening in the background, that's what's happening. When I see that my encounter is not a Chansey, I reload, save the state, and go again until I find one. Anyway, let's keep listening to Tate here.
These are all the things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook, learn to wash by hand, learn to please a man.
That is so
That's what
outdated,
you need to do.
That's outdated, girl.
She said, girl.
Yeah, that's outdated. Seriously, why do women have to learn how to cook? So what she's saying is women should take on traditional gender roles and be subservient to a man. Why? Why do they have to do that? Can't they have a good personality? Can't they just click with the person and be enjoyable to be around? Can't they do things equally? What if the woman wants to work and wants to support the man? You ever consider that one? Of course not. Because it's all about being a traditional woman, a trad wife.
It's outdated.
She's right.
For who?
I'm saying it's like we had literally just talked about this off camera.
Okay, now look, I don't know any of these people. I've never heard any of these people before except for Andrew Tate, who has a sourpuss face going right now, if I've ever seen one. But I'm getting the impression, just based on the little bit that I've heard, that this woman on the right here is not as dumb as dog shit as the rest. We'll see how this goes. Maybe she's actually not that stupid. We'll see.
Cameron, when you guys came here from the airport, when we were talking about, what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can good and well.
But you can cook and...
Okay, there goes monetization.
No, but I'm saying is that Pearl, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her.
Look, this is really the problem with these people. Like, there's a culture in society, a subculture, and these people are all part of it, where everybody is obsessed with sleeping with each other, and they think that that is like what it's all about. And if you can't do a really good job of sleeping with somebody, then your life is just in shambles, and you'll never have a good boyfriend. Yes, that's a component to any relationship. That should not be the basis of any relationship. It's like that's all that Andrew Tate thinks about. That's all these people think about. Like, you should be obsessed with that. You should be doing that 24/7. Be really good at that. And doing dishes and all of that other garbage. Why is this constantly on their mind? Like, they are creating a problem and perpetuating it. This just drives me nuts, dude.
Was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something for, like, return, as opposed to, oh, wash dishes by hand, there's a dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out, there's a chef. People they don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
No, but we literally just talked about this yesterday.
No, it was okay. I did a street interview and I asked the guys, would you rather have a girl that or a good cook? And most guys.
Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna have to cut so much stuff out of this. Why is this even the dichotomy that she's asking people anyway? This is just bizarre, dude.
They want this.
But I think that's
For
more,
the
I
quick
think, but I think
satisfaction.
that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm
versus
trying to say is that
long-term.
if you, all the
Mm-hmm.
women out there, and they're talking about, well, some of the women want to be settled down, they want a man, right? And you got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going out, you can as good as any old tramp on the street, and keep your man and have a man. And I can say that because I'm 32 years in Canada.
Dude, they have what? She's 32 years old? Is that what she just said? Oh my god. Maybe I misunderstood. She looks way, way older than 32. Okay. First of all, and second, it really isn't all about this. Like, what is their weird obsession with this?
And ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing, you can be a housewife, you can be going out, you can as good as any old tramp on the street, and keep your man and have a man. And I can say that because I'm 32 years in counting.
Auntie, you can't say
Wait.
Dude, is she 32 years old? Is that what she's saying? I think she's saying she's 32 years old. Okay, maybe she's 32 years into marriage. Yeah, that could be, I guess. Maybe it's marriage. That would make more sense. Oh my god, dude. If she's 32 years old, something's going on here. Something wrong here. Very, very wrong.
attraction's not important, no. You can't say attraction is not important, though.
It is important.
For you to
Initially.
get initially, exactly. A man is not going to find you attractive and then think, oh, because you can cook well. He's got a chef.
A man's going to
Especially
find
man
you
that's got money.
attractive and he's
Okay,
going to...
let's ask Andrew.
Andre, would you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
That ain't what I said.
Oh, firstly, that's not what she said, to be fair. And secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook.
Okay, like, if he is all about just being rich and not a brokey, then why doesn't he just say, I don't care if she can cook and clean, I'll hire a maid and a chef? Why are all these people so obsessed with this if they intend to be so filthy rich one day? I don't understand.
Because I'm top G. But to make...
Oh my god, he said it. He said top G. Please.
Would you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
That ain't what I said.
Oh, firstly, that's not what she said, to be fair. And secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook because I'm top G. But to make the point, I think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview, and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole, is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men...
Oh, yeah, because the women's world is notoriously not competitive at all. Women have no idea what it's like to be in a competitive environment. So when you try to tell them that men are in a competitive environment, it just like they don't get it, you know? Not smart enough, I guess. Holy shit, this guy is so stupid. So fucking stupid. I try not to insult people in all seriousness, and I feel like I'm insulting a little bit. I'm really trying not to, though. I don't even feel like this is an insult. I feel like it's just like there's nothing knocking around up there. It's just completely vapid and empty between those ears.
Men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to drive any faster because of status. That's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. That's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong because of status.
Dude, are you kidding me? I would love to have a bigger house. I have a 900 square foot apartment right now. I don't care about status at all. Like, not even a little bit. In fact, I hesitate to tell people I even live in New York City because that contributes to status or whatever, and I don't want people to think that I'm, like, rubbing it in anybody's face that I live in a big metropolitan city or whatever. It's not all about status. Like, this guy is so myopic. He is obsessed with himself and believes himself to be the best at absolutely everything. It's just mind-blowing, dude. Nericole, thank you so much for the super chat. A moment, please. 3 years ago, I lost my spouse of 25 years, Ralph Dogan. I miss you, hun, now and forever. Peace. I'm sorry to hear that. That's rough. I have been lucky enough in my life to not lose anybody close to me. Never. Not one person have I ever lost that was close to me. Up until last year. And then they all fell like dominoes. I lost a bunch of people that were close to me. Now, it wasn't my spouse, naturally. It was effectively my grandmother, the person that meant the most to me out of anybody in the entire world. And then I lost my mother-in-law, who was also very important to me. And I lost my dad, who wasn't really important to me, but you don't realize, you know, what an impact they have on your life until they're gone. Thanks for the super chat. We will make it through. We'll make it through, right? And their memory will live on. They say you die twice. Once when you take your last breath, and once when somebody speaks your name for the last time. Or once when your influence finally disappears from the world. But when you think about it, your influence never fully disappears from the world. And there are ways to ensure that it doesn't disappear from the world entirely. There are ways to make sure that you can continue on through the generations. And I do this for my loved ones that I've lost by finding 2 things that I can keep or continue on about them. The first thing is a physical item. I keep one physical item that reminds me of them. A Christmas tree ornament is good because you'll pull that out every single year, and you can even pass that down to your children. Or a hat, or a painting, or a picture of some sort that you can give to your children. Or hell, something even nicer like a musical instrument that came from this person, or something like that. A physical item and a tradition. Find a tradition that they enjoyed, that they shared with you, that you can pass on to your children or to your fellow loved ones. They liked doing, Dirty Santa or gag gifts before Christmas. Do that. Do that with the people around you. I don't know. I that's just an example. There are a billion examples. Find some tradition. They always set the table with the forks to the left and the knives to the right. Do that. Find some tradition that people do, that your loved one did, and pass that through the generations, and they will never truly die. So anyways, yeah, I know it's not easy, but keep them alive through traditions. Okay, let's keep listening to Top G.
Everything we do is about status. That's why we want the better jobs, why we want more money, why we want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak. That's status. That's all my boys going, Ross, you've just been out all night and she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. Boom. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good.
Okay, why doesn't he just, if he's a top G, why doesn't he just order the food? Is he a brokey? Is he too brokey to buy food? He has to have his woman cook for him? Oh, God, it's so cringy.
That's what men want. Status. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, there's so many ways. I mean, no, let's be serious about this.
Have you had the Gok 3000?
No, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very...
No, it isn't. There is literally nothing serious about anything that these people have said so far. It's just cringe all the way down.
Serious point because the Western world has collapsed in real time and it's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, I'll be the best I've ever had, I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what it is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about...
I told you guys. Didn't I tell you at the beginning? I said this guy is dumb as dog shit. And it's so cringy. Like, everything out of his mouth is cringe. Everything. Oh, God, it's bad.
It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear that shit.
Can I say something?
I don't want to hear that shit. What I want...
This is actually a psychological phenomenon that's kind of interesting. People like Andrew Tate, or honestly a lot of men in society, don't want women to be open sexually to anybody except for them. They want them to be virgins to everybody around them, but they want them to be hoe bags with them personally. It's a paradox. If she's going to be open to you, then she's probably open to a lot of other people too. But that's revolting to people. So you want somebody that's going to be only open to you and nobody else. It just doesn't work that way. That's not how society works. That's not how women work. That's not how men work. Not how anything works. And that is why it is a paradox. That is why Tate's worldview is so obnoxious and ridiculous from the ground up.
One is a woman who makes me look good. No woman who's running around talking about can make me look good. So I lose interest completely.
God, I'm going to have so much censoring to do.
Completely and utterly, and that's the truth. So what she's saying is completely correct. These are old school things, but it's not about the act. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about the status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
No, that's what Andrew Tate thinks it's about. That's what Andrew Tate cares about. It is not about status with all these people. This is all just complete ridiculous bullshit.
Sagittarius spoken like a true one. That is true.
Okay, wow, Sagittarius, yeah, obviously into astrology. Astrology is ridiculous nonsense, FYI. I'm sure most people here know that. I just want to get it out there just in case.
My man's a Sagittarius.
Listen, well,
my man's a Sagittarius.
So basically, it's a straight shooting sort of conversation. But I think that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf, because our problems are on a societal level less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men, this chase for status that they will never get.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because they're the ones that drive the machine that runs this.
It's always been that way.
Dude, what are they even talking about right now? I do not understand.
Yeah, but then think about the men that are at the top now, the corruption and everything that's going on. And this is why it feels very good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic
He doesn't say anything true, though. This is all completely made up bullshit.
truth and a very true truth as well that is out there. But the reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are victims of this system. So my job here is really not to try and make it about men and women. It's to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the narrative.
You don't want to make it about men and women.
They're both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas. I'm not.
I honestly have no idea what she's even talking about. I really don't. I feel like I'm completely lost in this conversation. It makes no sense whatsoever. She's saying it's men and women's. What is men and women's fault exactly? I'm just lost, dude. I am lost. And I sit here and ponder philosophical questions like this type of thing every day, all day. This is my literal job. I do this 40 hours a week, thinking about things like this, and this woman sitting on this couch with Andrew Tate has me lost.
I'm here to fight against men and women. That's small.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but the idea.
I don't. Please enlighten us.
The idea that this is 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things, but it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world, and.
Dude, are we talking about a cabal now or what? I don't understand.
Unfortunately, now we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically, every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war, and he came back victorious. He came back with honor.
Okay, that's not really true. Not every man throughout history was guaranteed to go to war. In fact, there were a lot of people that were likely going to war, but that's not every man, and that's not how they all proved themselves necessarily.
Honor, he got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different, and we fight our wars in other ways. And one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your combative ability now in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand, if I walk into
in what way?
Jimmy Choo, they locked the door. No brokies allowed in. Tate's here, and I buy what the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there.
Okay, that's not bending reality. That is you being a D-bag. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but a while back, Andrew Tate decided to take it upon himself to go to a Twitter thread about a guy saying that his son needed a life-saving surgery. It was like $60,000 or something, and he's going to die if he didn't get this life-saving surgery, right? And Andrew Tate goes to this Twitter thread where he says, my son needs this life-saving surgery. He says, does it make you feel like less of a man that you need, I'm trying to remember. I'll put it up on screen if I can find it. Does it make you feel like less of a man that the surgery that your son needs is less expensive than like a quarter of one of my cars. And then in another tweet under it, he said something like, I will pay for your son's surgery and save his life if you ask nicely. Biggest scumbag alive right here. Biggest scumbag alive. Seriously.
I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So
no, he acts like a douchebag constantly with money.
You're talking about high-status males, and it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best.
No, he's definitely been sitting here shitting on women the entire time. I don't know why he's playing coy now.
And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the high.
I can pay to have gravity shut off because I'm top G, right? That's funny. Yeah, appreciate that, K Opossum. That's a good point. If you have money and you're a top G, you can pay to have gravity shut off. That would be bending reality to your will.
Highest chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the...
Dude, I honestly thought that this was an elaborate troll the first time I saw it. When he was talking about brokies and not having a favorite food because he's so filthy rich.
If you ever see a man who's talking about food, oh, I had this amazing steak at this one restaurant. This steak is so amazing. He's broke. He's a brokey. Because if the steak was so amazing, he'd eat every day. And he'd eat every day to the point where he doesn't want to talk about it anymore. But he doesn't do that because he can't afford it. You understand? So whenever you see anyone talking about bragging about the meal they cooked or this ingredient they got or that steak they had, just do, because people do that to me all the time. And I'm just sitting there going, you're poor. Interesting. Oh, you're broke. Yes, okay. Oh, you went on your birthday and had that steak. Oh, wow. Once a year. Broke talk. Brokies. Real G's. Every day. Minor. Ain't a thing.
I thought it was a joke. I really did. I didn't think anybody could be that fucking stupid. But, you know, nevertheless, here we sit. And the sad part about this whole thing is that his dad was a chess grandmaster or something like that. His dad was like a really famous top chess player in the world or something. And he had a son like this. His dad is probably rolling over in his grave. What created this? How did this guy come to be? I just don't understand how this happened. And I want to, desperately.
The bottom line of it. And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for...
Oh, largely misunderstood. Absolutely. Totally. Largely misunderstood. I bet.
A lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men. Because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't losers either. Like, they're losers. So it's hard out.
Balance. I love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people always going for the 1%? All the women want to rush for the 1%. Why don't you just find a regular 9-to-5 person that's going to look after you? You can be his queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is everybody really rushing? I've got a man. We don't go on social media.
Why are people so obsessed with this weird dichotomy? Why are they so obsessed with things like this? Like, and why is he appealing to young white men so much and blaming women for all of the problems? This is just weird.
Everyone for Parliament, no, about social media. 9 to 5, I've got around property, 32 years, happy as Larry. What is the problem? It's not old-fashioned. It works.
No, Auntie, let me clarify. When I meant 1% is not the 1% of attraction. I mean the actual people that are in charge of the things that run the world the way that
What
it
I'm
does.
trying to say is that it's always been an umbrella we've lived under.
But the
and men have
difference is-
functioned underneath it. So why is it going to affect me?
I'll explain why. Because as Sir Mr. Andrew King Tate said...
Like that.
Oh my God, she called him a king. Now she's going to elaborate on the complete nonsense that she was spewing a minute ago.
As he said, thank you. I'll have this on after this point.
And try that now.
Wait, it is. I've been drinking lime juice as well. So, as he very rightly said, society has now evolved. Before men went to war, now men don't go to war. So there's a lot of sense of no purpose that they need to find. And then on the women's side is that...
Yeah, that's just complete nonsense. Not every man went to war. Back in what era are they even talking about right now? Are they talking 2,000 years ago? Are they talking 4,000 years ago? When? Like, men have not always gone to war throughout all of history. This is all just complete nonsense, top to bottom, all of it.
At the same way that society evolved, they made men feel less purpose. They have now had to take on bigger purposes. They have to go to work like they didn't have to do before. They have to take care of the family and work and do all of these things. And
You trying to tell me that women historically took care of the family all the way up to this moment in history, and men did nothing but kill each other? Like, literally everybody? This is all complete nonsense, all of it.
Now deal with the fact that men are feeling a little bit like out of,
What a
you
load
know.
of bollocks. What a load of rubbish. That ain't what I'm saying.
No.
You get a 9-to-5 person, right? What is wrong with you going out there, find a regular 9-to-5 person, right? You can function underneath that, because I'm always saying the women say, oh, we ain't got enough money. We ain't got enough money. Work with what the man's got.
You're right.
Work with what the man's got. You can make a man your alpha. Everybody wants to go and find these top earning money. Find a 9-to-5, work regular, save your money, learn to cook and not have takeouts, and then save your money as they did before.
Then you should direct this to the men that feel upset because they're not like Andrew
There's
Tate.
always direct something to the man.
No,
Why?
but she's completely right. I'll tell you this. There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her his queen. Women don't want that. So they'll sit there and go, no, I want Chris Brown. And then they'll go try to get Chris Brown. Then Chris
Dude, what women is he talking about? Does he think that, like, every woman is obsessed with getting, like, a millionaire or something? That millionaire women are not around. Millionaire women are dating other millionaire men. Like, this whole scenario they're drawing up is completely fabricated. All of it. It's all made up. It's bizarre to listen to these people say this stuff. And they're saying it so confidently. Like, what the hell is happening right now? Not only did he get semi-famous on the internet, he outpaced Donald Trump in searches. He exploded on the internet. How did this happen? Holy shit, people. This is just insane.
Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, I can't believe he cheated. I am devastated. Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you truly want in your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you and take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal. You can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that. You see how women act. They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude.
But I thought they were called top G's.
Who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, oh, you know what, Andrew, you should be loyal to that. Men like me don't have to be. And you know that. So why the fuck are you here trying to tell me what to do? Because you know I don't have to be loyal. And all the girls I'm fucking.
So what he's saying is he is allowed to cheat on his girlfriend if he wants because he has enough money that she can't go anywhere else. She's trapped. She has no choice but to stay because she needs him to help sustain her. So he can treat her like complete garbage if he wants. Okay, sure. I guess that's an option. Not one I would have gone with, but you could treat her like complete garbage, I suppose. Why would you want to do that? Got me. Couldn't possibly guess. Maybe because he's a scumbag. Maybe that is why he believes that he's capable of doing absolutely anything and treating her like shit and cheating on her and whatever other thing. Maybe he thinks he can do all of that shit because he's got her over a barrel and she has no choice. Just disgusting, honestly, how he views the world, how he views society. Honestly sad and disgusting.
Fucking don't have to be loyal. So why are you sitting there pretending you expected me to be loyal when everyone knew from ground up day one it was never going to ever fucking happen? And you're still here.
I think
you're still texting.
They're going to be the one that changes you.
Well, no, yeah, of course they are.
That's the biggest mistake that girls make.
I am a complete piece of shit. Did you really think that you're going to be able to make me not a complete piece of shit? I revel in the fact that I am a complete piece of shit, and I don't want you to ever think that you're worth my time. So I'm going to continue to cheat on you and treat you like garbage because I know that you can't do anything else. You can't go anywhere else because you need me. This is like when he tweeted under that guy's tweet thread about his son dying, needed a surgery for $60,000. It's like when he went there and said, does it make you feel like less of a man that the surgery that you need to save your son's life costs less than a quarter of the cost of one of my cars? He's such a scumbag, dude. Such a scumbag. It's disgusting. I keep asking myself, how does he live with himself? He revels in this. This isn't about living with himself. This isn't about how does he sleep at night. He loves this. This is just evil. And FYI, this is the Republican Party, effectively. This is the attitude that the Republican Party is embracing. This is why Donald Trump won, because he had a personality that was similar to this.
This is the female decision. They sit there and decide, no, I want this. Cool, then you're going to have to accept. He ain't going to be loyal to you. He's barely going to reply to you. That's the game.
They like being cheated. I swear to God, this show has made me believe. I think women like to be cheated on.
I don't.
I swear to God.
You've got to be kidding me. I think women like to be cheated on. What is wrong with these people? What happened when they were little? Did they fall on their head when they were a baby? How did they come to these conclusions? I don't understand. I really don't, and I want to. I want to know. How did we get here?
Yeah, no, because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about. And
Who?
it's like
Only talks about that.
The regular women that are on here.
The women that come on the show.
Oh, good thing I'm irregular and extraordinaire.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable? So when a man, because he's a top G, cheats on a woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and say,
accountable for what? Accountable for his natural.
This woman on the right here hasn't said almost a single word the entire time, and when she did speak, it was mostly pretty intelligent, it seems to me. I feel like she's the only intelligent one on the panel. The rest are just dumb as dog shit, all of them.
are holding men accountable. So when a man, because he's a top G, cheats on a woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and say...
Accountable for what? Accountable for his natural evolutionary biology.
Is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
It depends.
Yeah.
Cheating is morally correct. Not only is it amoral, not only does it have no moral weight at all, like it's just something that happens, but it is moral. It's a good thing for women to cheat on men? No. For men to cheat on women, specifically. It's a good thing for men to cheat on women. Seriously, were they dropped on their heads as children? Until Andrew Tate came out of the woodwork, I didn't realize how many people were this fucking stupid. There are so many stupid fucking people on this planet. Holy shit. That's all I've got for you. If you like what I do and you want to see me continue to do it, check me out on Patreon. And let me know if you want to see more stuff like this in the comments. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.